Happiness is a choice. That's the motto of my guest, Dr. Elia Gourgouris. His mission is to make this world a better and happier place. He helps C-suite leaders and their teams achieve their highest potential and create an empowering culture of accountability, productivity, and happiness within their organizations, while simultaneously living a balanced and healthy life. His latest book, 7 Keys to Navigating a Crisis, which he co-authored with Kon Apostolopoulos, another friend of both of ours. You like that? He taught me the name. They provide powerful yet practical insights to help minimize the negative impact of pandemics, natural disasters, financial meltdowns, and other major disruptions on our lives. I would say just about as close to an indispensable book as you can find right now. He's also authored the #1 Amazon best-selling book, 7 Paths to Lasting Happiness. This book provides powerful insights and simple, effective exercises. You definitely want to check this out. It's been translated and published in Chinese and Greek and Spanish, so definitely check that out. As the president of the Happiness Center, again, I would love to see t-shirts for that organization. And it's an organization of leading world experts in the field of positive psychology. He's helped thousands of people, both personally and professionally, to achieve happiness, success, and wellness. Well, I'm talking to the right guy. Elia, so good to see you. We met through Peter Winnick's and Bill Sherman's group, Thought Leadership and stuff like that. So great to see you. How's everything going in Greece?
In Greece, it's actually going great. Greece was one of those countries that learned the lessons from Italy next door when the pandemic hit Italy pretty hard, and they shut things down, and they have the best rate in all of Europe. So they have done things the right way from the very beginning. Unusual for Greeks who are typically not very obedient, but they have followed the rules, and it's paid off. So we're doing good. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. So how do we stay happy? How can we stay happy with all this craziness, whether it's pandemic, social unrest, bad economy? What's your advice?
Yeah, and you just mentioned, we're having at least 4 major crises simultaneously right now across the world. You mentioned 3 of them: the financial crisis as a result of the shutdown of the economy, obviously COVID-19, and the social unrest. Let's add into that the mental health crisis that's plaguing this world. And the statistics keep going up. Just at the end of May, depression, anxiety, and stress was up an astonishing 800%. I'm sure it's over 1,000% now. Suicide hotline calls are on an all-time high, mind you. And a lot of these folks did not have pre-existing conditions. People think, well, they were already depressed or anxious. No, these are new people that are struggling. So now the question, is it possible to maintain one's happiness and wellness? Absolutely. My motto is happiness is a choice. My newest one is do not procrastinate your happiness, because I think the pandemic has forced all of us to take our mortality seriously. There are no guarantees in life that any one of us will be here next week, next month, or 6 months from now. So, and it's one of the reasons why I chose to come to Greece and enjoy life right now and try to live the best life that I can. Now, having said that, it takes work. It takes conscious decision making on a daily basis on a variety of issues. First and foremost, it's self-care. Because if you think that you can continue living the life that you lived before, but with the additional stress that we're facing with all these crises, right, and be well, physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, you're sadly mistaken. So I've had to up my game in terms of my self-care. I walk a lot more than I used to before. I eat a lot healthier. I try to sleep better. I exercise. I go swimming. I do the things that fill my batteries, basically, because in the end, I have to help other people and other organizations. If I don't take care of myself, I'm going to suffer. And that's not negotiable anymore. Before, it's like, well, I don't have time for that. I'll go for a walk tomorrow. Not negotiable anymore. I have to up my game, and we all do, in learning how to take care of ourselves. Step number 1.
Anytime I hear the word happy or happiness, it always strikes me as sort of an individual choice, an individual effort. You know what I mean? How much of this is self-driven or self-care driven, and how much of it can an organization or an organizational culture really take ownership of, this happiness stuff?
I mean, I agree with you that it is an individual choice, happiness for each one. Nobody else can make me happy by myself, by the choices I make, the thoughts that I keep in my head, my positive thinking, for example, the optimism. But on the organizational side, I don't know if I would call it happiness, Dave. I think I'd call it wellness, like corporate wellness, which is it's slightly different, and it's more. It's not just one's personal happiness. However, when employees are well, happy, they're more productive, they're more collaborative, they're physically healthier. Think about that. They have less time off because they're physically healthier, because they're not depressed, they're not sad, they're not stressed out all the time. So they're more collaborative and better teammates. I think there's greater retention, obviously less turnover. All of those things add to the bottom line. So I heavily promote corporate wellness, and corporate wellness doesn't mean let's have a ping pong table, or let's bring a yoga instructor once a week and that'll make you happy. No, um, and it starts from the top. In the end, what's the most important asset we have as in any organization or industry or company? What is that? It's the people. So right now, and this comes from a survey of 15,000 HR executives. They have 5 top challenges right now across the globe. You know what the number one is? Ensuring the mental and physical well-being of their employees. That's number one. And number 2, I think, is productivity, effectiveness, employee engagement, and so on, which always was number 1. Ensuring the physical and mental well-being of their employees didn't even make the top 10 prior to this. So now it's elevated. And you're not going to get the second one. Sorry, I have a bug from Greece that made a ladybug. In Greece, actually, they say that's good luck, so I'm grateful for that. Anyway, you're not going to get the employee engagement, productivity, and effectiveness go up unless you take care of number 1. So things have reversed. Senior leaders who are, I would say, enlightened and have a greater EI understand that the soft skills right now are more important than ever before, ever before. So if the employee feels like this company cares, and when I coach senior leaders, I say, look, don't just call and say, how you doing? And I'm assuming Zoom calls, because right now, people are working from home. Close the door, lean into the camera and say, how are you really doing? The door's closed, it's just between you and I. How's your family? How are your loved ones? Is anybody sick? What can we do as a company to help out during this difficult time? You need to do that first before you say, and by the way, we need to hit the numbers, or else I'm going to have to cut the workforce by 20% at the end of the month. Do you understand what I'm saying? That has to happen first. Not that we don't need to hit the numbers. It's a business. We need to make money. I get that. But the human factor has to happen first.
And just as a final question, Elia, it's a question I ask everybody, which is, what lessons have we learned throughout this whole craziness? What lessons have we learned that we must not forget?
So I think this is the one lesson, that we have to take care of ourselves better than ever before. I think the second one is that we need to adapt a flexibility that we didn't have before in our personal lives and in our corporate lives. This world is upside down. Every week and every month, there's some kind of announcement that it changes the way that we live life daily, basically. If you don't learn how to be flexible and adaptable, you're going to suffer. If you say, well, that's the way I've always done things, I'm not changing. No, we have to adapt to the situation. It's not the other way around, because this thing isn't going away.
Okay, look, taken up enough of your time, obviously. How cool is it you're in Greece? I really appreciate you taking time out. I appreciate being flexible with Zoom being kind of spotty today. We're doing this call actually kind of in a Frankenstein mode. Elia's on Skype. I'm on Skype. I'm also I'm capturing my end on an iPhone. Anyway, Elia, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Let me know when it's going to be on the air. I'd love to see it. All right. Thank you, my friend.